Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Back again with another video. Champions League is back. One of my favorite competitions. Let me know in the comment section what do you think, Champions League or the World Cup. It's really a tricky one. Some will say Champions League is a bigger competition than the World Cup. What do you think? I still think that the World Cup is a bigger competition. It's on an international stage, on an international level. I think that the World Cup is one that everybody would love to win. Even the Champions League, I think that every player would love to win a Champions League, but the World Cup just sets you above the rest, winning the World Cup. But nevertheless, we're talking about the Champions League fixtures that will be happening this evening. We'll just have a quick look at the current table. Arsenal sitting top of the table, 15 points, 5 out of 5 wins, no losses. They are the team to beat at this point in time. PSG, Bayern, Inter Milan, Real Madrid all have 12 points, winning 4, losing 1. Dortmund, Chelsea, Sporting, Manchester City, Atalanta all have 10 points. Unfortunately, Manchester City are sitting ninth on the table. They are out of the automatic qualifiers to the next round or to the next phase of the Champions League. In my opinion, they really have to win their next 3 games. Um, Real Madrid is not an easy fixture if they really want to make it to the next phase of the Champions League. So it's going to be important or key for them to win the next 3 games or even get a result in the next fixture, which is Real Madrid. Going to be difficult. Manchester City go away to Real Madrid at this point in time. This has now become a derby, in my opinion. Um, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. I think for the past 5, 6 years now, Manchester City, Real Madrid always throw each other, whether it's in the uh, knockout phases or in the league phases in this new Champions League format. It's now become a Champions League derby, in my opinion. Interestingly enough, Pep did mention when asked about this fixture, Manchester City always throwing Real Madrid. He said that unfortunately, if you want to beat or win the Champions League, you have to beat Real Madrid. So somewhere, somehow, you're gonna face Real Madrid, whether it's in the final, semi-final, quarter-final, league phases, whatever it may be, you're gonna face Real Madrid. In my opinion, they are still the best team in the Champions League, always favorites, even though they'll maybe struggle in the league. They will still be favorites for the Champions League. We've seen in the past where Real Madrid struggled in the league or didn't do too well in the league, and also in the group stages of the Champions League quarterfinals, knockout stages. They maybe weren't the best team, but they would always get the job done, ultimately winning the Champions League. So they are the kings of the competition. Um, so yeah, that's another interesting feature that we'll have a look at later on in the video. We'll quickly run through the upcoming fixtures for this evening. Kairat Almaty, Olympiacos, Bayern, Sporting, Inter, Liverpool, Barcelona, Frankfurt, Atalanta, Chelsea, Tottenham, Slavia, Praha, PSV, Atleti, Monaco versus Galatasaray, Union versus Marseille. The key fixtures that we'll look at is Bayern Munich versus Sporting Lisbon. Ultimately, I think that Bayern Munich will have too much for Sporting Lisbon, especially because they're playing at home as well. So it's going to be a tall task or a difficult ask for Sporting Lisbon, but you'll never know. The position on the table, they have 10 points, so they can cause an upset to Bayern. I think a decent result for Sporting Lisbon will be a draw, just to knock off some points off Bayern Munich and them also gaining a point. Ultimately, they would want to win the game. Um, so yeah, that's going to be an interesting fixture. Inter Milan versus Liverpool. Difficult times for Liverpool at this point in time, dropping points again in the league phases with a late goal by Tanaka in the league phase or in the league against Leeds. Last minute goal that really knocked the confidence out of this Liverpool team and this Liverpool players as well. So normally Liverpool don't do too well against Italian teams. I've seen over the past they really struggle against Italian teams. So giving their form over this last few weeks, it's really going to be a tall task or a big ask for Liverpool to get some points or come away with a win against Inter Milan, especially because it's away. They haven't been too pretty good away, even at home. They've lost a couple of games at home as well. So it's going to be a tall task or a big ask for Liverpool to get some points. Barcelona versus Frankfurt. Barcelona at home. I think that Barcelona will get the job done, in my opinion. I think their front three will be too much for Frankfurt at this point in time. Um, there's a couple of players that are on some good form. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha really playing good as well. So yeah, that's going to be another fixture that I will be keeping my eye on. Atalanta versus Chelsea. Could be a tricky fixture for Chelsea, in my opinion. They can drop some points. Atalanta, not a pushover team. They were the European champions in the other UEFA competitions, where um, they they won the title. I think it was the UEFA Conference League, or was it the Europa League? Pretty sure it was the Europa League. I can't really remember. But anyway, Atalanta, an Italian team, not really a walkover team in my opinion. They can cause some upsets. So it's also a fixture that I will be keeping my eye on. PSV versus Atleti, another fixture that I will be looking at as well as Tottenham versus Slavia Praha. Tottenham need to win. I mean, if we look at the table for Tottenham, they currently sit on 8 points. If they can get a win, they'll sit on 11 points, which will move them further up the table and closer to at least having to play the knockout phases to qualify for the next round. Tottenham are the current UEFA Europa League champions, so they, even though they don't perform too well in the league phases, this is a cup competition. Any team can really get a result in this cup competitions. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I think Slavia Praha is no disrespect to Slavia Praha, could be a straightforward win for Tottenham. Monaco versus Galatasaray, as well as Union SG versus Marseille. Then looking at tomorrow's fixtures, I think the big fixtures that we will look at is Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Of course, Arsenal versus Club Brugge. Even though Arsenal play away, I think that they'll still get the job done. Even though they are missing some key players in the defensive line, Gabriel and Saliba still out injured. But looking at their last result in the league phases, they could find it difficult against Club Brugge. We've seen what happened to Barcelona in the last fixture. It was a difficult game for Barcelona, and they can cause some upsets, Club Brugge. Um, so especially because they are playing away. Right now, Arsenal are a little bit vulnerable defensively, even though they had a fantastic season so far. They are still a team that can get caught at. So, having said that, Club Brugge really have an opportunity here to get a win right now. I don't think that their confidence is at the highest right now, even though they've lost a game in the league phases. I think that there's still a little bit of doubt for them coming into the Champions League as well. Benfica versus Napoli, one fixture that I'll definitely look out for, especially because we all know Kevin De Bruyne is playing for Napoli. So let's see where do they sit on the table as well. Napoli currently sit 20th, still within the knockout phases or the playoff phases. They've won 2 out of 5, lost 2, and drew 1. Um, so yeah, could they make it to the next phases? Look at Barcelona also with 7 points, won 2, lost 2, draw 1. Um, a little bit tricky for Barcelona. If they are not careful, they can get knocked out. If they lose their next game, it could make it really difficult for them to even make it into the playoffs. So it's crunch time in the Champions League now. 3 games left. If teams really want to make it through to the next round, they at least need to win the next 2 fixtures, in my opinion. On the other end, if you look at Arsenal, they sit with 15 points, 5 out of 5 wins. If they win their next win, they pretty much qualified for the next round, in my opinion. So yeah, some teams really need to stop Arsenal so that they don't. Okay, I mean, they will qualify, even though they'll lose their next game or two, as long as they at least get a point or 2 points, two draws, they can still qualify, in my opinion. Um, and some interesting comments from Rodrigo. Man City game has grown into a real derby. Those are some quotes from Rodrigo. And these are his quotes. It's become a true Champions League derby. The Real Madrid winger Rodrigo, as his side prepare to meet Manchester City for the fifth consecutive Champions League season, and with good reason. In each of the past four seasons, one side has eliminated the other from the knockout phases, and the pair have claimed three titles between them in that span. Real Madrid won in 2021-22 season and 2023-24 season, and Manchester City won in the 2022-23 season. I think that that season when we won the treble was a remarkable season for Manchester City. I don't think that the team is back to that level yet, in my opinion, but they're definitely showing some signs of it. A fantastic performance for Manchester City in the league phase, beating Sunderland. Sunderland, a team that has had some great form over the last couple of weeks, beating Sunderland 3-0 in the end at home. So it's also going to be interesting to see what teams or what players Pep will field this coming game week. In my opinion, I think we do need Phil Foden there. We need Bernardo Silva for the legs, as well as Nico Gonzalez. I think then on the wings, I think we can play Jeremy Doku. I think instead of playing Savinho, I would play Ryan Cherky. Ryan Cherky can just float in that false nine position, just below or behind Haaland. Of course, Haaland have to start. So that's my front three: Doku, Ryan Cherky, as well as Haaland. But the question is, will Cherky do his defensive works covering up on that fullback position? I don't think so. I don't think he's a player that really wants to do his defensive works, and hence why Pep hasn't been playing him in most games. And I think that on that wings, Nunes is really going to need some help on that wings, especially if he's coming up against Bunny or even Rodrigo. Nunes is definitely going to need some help. We all know that Nunes has a mistake in him. He could make a wrong tackle in that final third or on the edge of the box or in the box, which will lead to a penalty. So, um, Rodrigo, or rather Nunes on that right back position, if he's going to field him, which I think he will, is going to need some help covering up for those wingers. But if Manchester City can control that midfield, I think that they can get something out of this game. Yeah, controlling that midfield for me, in my opinion, and just keeping the ball. So looking defensively, I think that he should stick with Nunes on the right back, Ruben Diaz, right centre back, Vario, left centre back, as well as Nico O'Reilly on the left back. I don't think that Ryan Aitnouri is in form right now, and our best player in that position right now is Nico O'Reilly. I think that defensively he's quite decent. Going forward, he's also quite decent as well. I really like Nico O'Reilly, and he's not a player that will shy away from a challenge. He looks very confident, and I think that Pep really trusts him as well. So yeah, so that's for me my starting lineup. Donnarumma. In fact, if we can just talk about Donnarumma, there were some couple of key saves, one-on-one saves, shots at Donnarumma that he saved, which really kept us in the game. If those goals went in, it would have really been difficult for Manchester City. So Donnarumma has really been a key player for Manchester City. In my opinion, he's been the key signing. Um, yes, you can say Ryan Cherky, as well as Tijani Reinders and so on and so forth. But I think that Donnarumma has been Manchester City's key signing or best signing so far. He's really give us that defensive solidity in the back line. And I mean, if you look at most of the goals, it wasn't goals that came from a mistake from him. It's always been defensive errors or defensive lapses that resulted in goals. So I think that he's performing really well, Donnarumma, in the sticks. Obviously, the best goalkeeper, the world's best goalkeeper right now. So yeah, Donnarumma for me, Nunes, Vadio, Diaz, as well as Nico O'Reilly in the midfield. I need Phil Foden there to penetrate those half spaces. I need Bernardo Silva for the legs, and I need um, Nico O'Reilly there in that midfield. I think that he might play a 4-1-4-1 just to keep that midfield a little bit more compact because Nico O'Reilly really needs some help in that midfield. We've seen in the game so far that he's left some big gaps in that midfield, always out of position. So he really needs some help. If he if there's one player that can give him that help, for me, it will be Tijani Reinders. Um, if Pep does start up with the 4-3-3, that will be the players that I think that he will go for. If it's a 4-1-4-1, I think that he will play obviously the back four, as I mentioned, as well as Nico O'Reilly as the one. Then the next four will be Tijani Reinders, Bernardo Silva, and then we can play uh, Toko on the one side and Savinho on the one side, or even um, Ryan Cherky and then Haaland up front. In fact, I think that will be a better lineup for Manchester City. Um, I think that that will be a better lineup because then in the midfield we've got Nico O'Reilly. I mean, we've got Nico Gonzalez, we've got Dejani Reinders, and we've got Bernardo Silva in that midfield. Then we can play Phil Foden on the one side to penetrate those half spaces, and then we can play Doko on the one side, and then obviously Haaland up front. He can do some rotations and bring Ryan Cherky on. I don't think that he'll start Ryan Cherky in this game. It's a high stakes game. So I think that he'll probably start Ryan Cherky in the league phases. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the lineup is for Manchester City this match week. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comment section. I think that Manchester City can get a result out of this game, a positive result, whether it's a draw or even a win. It's important that they don't lose the game, but I don't think that that's the mindset that you should go into this match week. Um, so yeah, a win will be a big win for Manchester City. Will really push them up further in the table, and yeah, I'm just a little bit optimistic to see how Manchester City with this team can face up against this Real Madrid team. Obviously, our defensive lines, our back lines will be tested heavily. We've got Mbappe, who's on great form. Vini also on some decent form as well. They're also very quick players, so our defensive lines is really going to have to be solid. I won't be surprised if he plays Kuzanov either on the right back. I have a feeling that he might, but I think that Nunes will still be the option or the go-to guy. I think that for Kuzanov, he'll be a little bit more aggressive on the ball to try and stop either Vini or Mbappe. Um, but it's not really great going forward. So we're gonna lack in attack on that right wing. If he plays Nunes on that right wing, it will be a little bit more balanced, um, which is not always a good thing. Nunes decent going forward, as well as defensively decent, even though he has a mistake in him. So he could play Kuzanov on that right wing. But in my opinion, he should stick with Nico O'Reilly in that left wing. I think that he's been our best player in that position so far for the season. So yeah, has an assist or two in him, can do his defensive duties as well. So yeah, tactically, I think that he's got some options. Of course, Pep has really got some options, but how he uses those options, we yet to see. Um, on Real Madrid side, Xavi Alonso really losing, or there's a sense that he's losing the trust of the players. So yeah, let's see how Xavi Alonso lines up his team for tomorrow's matchup, and let's see what tactical approach he takes to this game as well. Of course, he's a young coach, up and coming coach, a decent coach in my opinion. But I think that he's still struggling to find his feet. What do you think? Do you think that Xabi Alonso will be a good fit for Liverpool? If Liverpool sack Slot, will Slot be sacked? If his form, or yeah, let's say his form, if his form continues, or if Liverpool's form like this continues, I think it is very key for Liverpool to make Champions League minimum, top four minimum with the amount of money that they spent. Europa League, uh, I don't think that they're really looking at Europa League. They want to make Champions League. But if things don't go their way, any European competition would be best for Liverpool, looking at their form. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Do you think that Xabi Alonso would be a great fit for Liverpool? Is Slot capable enough of turning this around? Is it just a run of bad form or bad luck? Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? And of course, that leads us to the end of the video. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm just 3 subscribers away from 200 subscribers. That was my goal the last couple of months. It looks like I've been stagnant on that 194, 195 um, subscribers. So I'm really looking at targeting 200 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bells, turn on the likes so that you know, or turn on the notification so that you know when I'll be posting my next video. Please like the video because it really helps with the algorithm to get the video out there. So yeah, thank you so much once again for all your support, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace out.